What's up guys, welcome back, and in this video I'd like to add actors to our application. Lots to do here, so let's go ahead and get started. So the first thing I want to do is add the index page for actors. So if you go back to the TMDB website, you'll see they have a section here for people, and it's probably better to call it people because it also has other people within movies like directors, but I guess I'll just stick to actors. So this page has an index of popular actors, and it has pagination as well. So let's go ahead and create that. So first thing I want to do is make a new controller. So PHP artisan make controller. Let's call it actors controller, or if you want, call it people controller. And let's make it resourceful. Okay, and let's go into that. Actually, let's go into our routes file first, and let's work from there. So I want these two routes, but now for actors. So let me just duplicate that. And let's call this actors controller. And this one will be actors/actor. And this will be actors controller show. And let's rename this to actors. Okay. So let's go ahead and go into the actors controller and start with the index. So return view actors.index. And I think in my views, so right here I have them in the main views directory. So I want a new one for movies and one for actors. So let's make one for movies. And let's move those in there, and I'm going to make one for actors as well. So let me just move this in there. And let's go into our movies controller and make sure to update that as well. So it should be movies index. And same for the show down here, movie show. And let me just run my tests to make sure that works. Okay, still works. So let's go ahead and get started with our actors index. Index.blade.php. And I'm just going to steal what I have here for now in movies. Copy that, paste that in. And let's change this. So I only need popular actors, so I don't need this section for now playing movies. And say actors here. Popular actors, and here is where our actors go. And we don't need a blade component since it's only in one place. So I'll just stick the grid in here. So I'm just going to make a div with an actor class and let's put a margin top of 8. And the first one will be the image, and that's a link as well. So let's do this. And let's just put an image in here. And I just pasted in an image tag with a hard-coded image and with some classes here that have the transition on the hover. So let's see if this looks okay. Back to our browser. And let me actually link this first. So let's go back to our main blade. And for actors, let's say route actors.index. Okay. Fresh, and let's click this. Okay, cool. And let's also add the actor name, and like in TMDB, there is some information about the movies or the TV shows they are known for. So let's add that. So right underneath here, let's make it a div, mt2. So it's going to be a link. Let's give it a class of text large, hover text gray 300, like we did for the other links. And this will be the actor name. So Robert Downey Jr. And here is where the known for movies will go. It's just text. So we'll do div text small truncate. So I want to truncate it so it doesn't go on multiple lines. It just has dot dot dot. And text gray 400. And say Iron Man, Avengers, Infinity war. Okay, and let's see how this looks. Okay, looking good. And like I said, it truncates it here because I just want it to be one line. And let me just duplicate this just to see if it's correct. And then we'll start making it dynamic. Okay, so it looks good to me. Okay, so get rid of that. And we can start working on grabbing the information from the API. So actors controller, and here we can grab the information. So let me just go to my movies controller and grab something like this. So popular movies, but now it's going to be popular actors. So popular actors. And the endpoint for that, if you go into the docs, it is called people, I believe. So people, and there's one for popular. So it's just person/popular. And if you look in my REST client, I believe I have that here for actors index, and it's person popular. And there are the results. So there's 20 results, and there's also 500 pages, which makes for 10,000 results. And there's pagination here as well, which we will also take a look at. So let's go ahead and do that. Person popular. So instead of movie popular, it's person popular. And let's go ahead and pass this information to our view model, because we're going to be making some transformations as well. So new actors view model, which we'll make in a second. And I'm passing in the popular actors. Okay, so let's go ahead and make that view model. PHP artisan make view model, and that's actors view model. Okay, and let's import this now that it's created. Okay, and let's go to that view model. So actors view model. Okay, and let's go ahead and make that field. So constructor, and it's popular actors. Okay, and let's make this public. And let's go ahead and make a public method for popular actors so we can transform it if we need to. And we do. So popular actors, and let's just return this for now. Return popular actors, this popular actors. Okay. And let's go back to our controller, and let's pass this in the view model. So view model. Okay, so let's see if our controller or if our page still works. And we have to import the HTTP facade. Okay. Okay, cool, still works. So let's go ahead and start looping over these popular actors that we're getting. So back to our show blade, or sorry, our index blade, not the movies, the actors. Let's go ahead and start looping over them right here. So for each popular actors as actor, let's move this in there. Okay. And let me just collect and dump this so we can see what we're doing like I did before. So let's collect this. And let's just dump it. And we'll transform it in a second to prepare the data for our views. Okay, there you see 20 actors being populated in our view. And you can also see the information for each actor here. So we can output the name because we don't need to transform that. So let's go back to our show or our index. And here we can do actor name. And I'm going to save that, and I'm going to go back to my view model, and I'll start transforming the data here. So similar to how we mapped over our movies or popular movies. So let's take a look at what we did there. So movies, view model, and we'll just sort of copy what we did there. So it's in this format, movies. And we're just going to map over the actors and then merge them with the transform data we want. So let's do that. Okay, let's paste that in. And we don't need this. And this is going to be popular actors. This popular actors. And this is going to be actor. Okay. This will be actor as well. And let's start with this one. So this will be profile path instead of poster path. Profile path. And this will be profile path as well. Okay. So the width is going to be width 235 and height 235 underscore face. And I got this by just inspecting these. So let me go back here. These, I just inspected this and I looked at the image info. And here you can see, I could have sworn that was 235 when I was doing it. Anyways, you see the format there and this should work. It might change based on my resolution. And my resolution when I'm recording is different from when I'm working normally. That should work. Let's just remove these. And for the only, I just want name, ID, profile path for now. And see if this works. So back to our app. And let's go back to actors here. Undefined movie. This should be actor. And I'm going to go back to my index blade here. And instead of this, the hard-coded version, I am going to use actor profile path. So let's do actor profile path. Okay, and let's see if this works. Back here, refresh, and it does seem to work. Cool. And there seems to be a broken link for some of the actors that don't have a profile image. So what we can do is just provide a placeholder when we need one. So back to our view model. So we have to check here. So let's do a ternary here. So actor profile path. Okay. And let's put this on its own line. Let's make a question mark here. And that should be when there is one, and when there isn't one, we can put a placeholder here. So I'm just going to paste this in. So it's this service, uiavatars.com, and we give it a size of 235, and that's just a square. And we give it the actor's name, and what this will do is generate an avatar based on the actor's initials. So see if this works. And there we go. You see the initials here. Cool. And let's just put a margin bottom on this popular actors section. Back to our index. Or we can put a PY on the entire thing. Okay, cool. Okay, now for the known for section here. If you look at the dump, did I remove the dump? So yeah, so my computer crashed. If you don't see continuity here, I had to restart my computer and start again. So if I just dump this, there you see the dumps up here, and you can see, oh, I didn't include the known for, so let's add that. Known for, okay. There we go. You see the known fors for each actor. And you can see that it's an array. And you'll see that we have a media type of movie here, but sometimes this will be TV as well. And if it's movie, like it is here, you'll see a title field here. But if it's TV, there's no title field, it's going to be a name field. So let me show you what I mean. So let's just do it for movie now. So let's add a section here for known for, which will overwrite the current one. And we'll just transform it the way we want it. So let's do collect actor known for, And we're just going to grab the title because that's the only thing we're interested in. So let's do pluck title. And from here, we can just implode to get our comma separated list. So let's implode. Okay. So let's try this and you'll see what I'm trying to say here. So I'm going to refresh. And we have to use that in our view. So instead of this, we can do actor known for. Known for, okay. And now, if I refresh, you'll see that some of them do work. So for example, Vin Diesel is mostly in movies, so you see his works, but these people are a mix of movies and TV, so it's not working. And this guy's only TV, so it's not working at all. So what we have to do is do the same thing, but for movies, or sorry, for TV shows, we want to grab the name field because it's a name field for people in TV. So we want to sort of combine these two different collections. And there is a combine method on the collection, but that's not the method we want. The method we want is the union method. So if you remember your Venn diagrams, let's make use of that method. So before I pluck the title here, I'm just going to grab the ones where the media type is TV because this one has titles. So media type TV. Okay. And let me get rid of this implode for now. We'll add it after we add the union. And it's going to copy this whole thing because we're going to union it with all the TV stuff. So union, like this, union. And then I'm going to start a new line. I'm going to close it here. And here is where we'll put the implode. So let's put that back like this. But for the other collection, let me paste that in. And the media type is going to be, sorry, this one should be movies or movie. And this one should be TV. But the thing we're trying to pluck is called name now. And that will add both. So let's see if I did this right. And I did. There you see everything showing up, regardless if it's TV or movies. Cool. Okay, now let's add pagination. So I'm just going to add simple pagination with a previous and next button. As you see here, they have the paged or the numbered pagination. I don't think that's necessary. So let's go ahead and add a next and a previous button here. So let's work on that first. So that would be in my index. After here, let me just spell this right. Let's add a section here. So it's going to be flex, justify, between. And let's add a margin top of 16 or something. And let's just say previous and next. See if this looks okay. Okay. So since we're not using models in our Laravel app, we have to make use of the API's pagination, and it does support pagination. You see here we have a page variable and the total pages. And to pass in the page, we just have to do question mark page equals and then whatever. So let's go ahead and do that. So I'm going to go to my routes file and make a new route here that supports pagination. So this new one will be similar to this one, but now it will have support for pagination. And the format I'm going to do is page/page. And you can make it a query string if you want, but I'll just leave it like this. And I'm going to make this page variable optional with a question mark. And this is going to go to the same controller, and I won't give this a name because there's already an actors.index name. And now we can accept that in our actors controller, and we can give it a default value of 1. And in our endpoint, we can append the page here. So let's do dot page. Sorry, it should be question mark page equals. Okay. And let's pass in the page to the view model so we can make use of it there. So let's go to our actors view model. Let's accept a page here. Okay, page. Let's make this public. And let's go ahead and make two methods here. One for previous and one for next. So previous, no params. And let's just return if this top page is greater than 1, then we want to get this page -1. And if it's not, then we'll just return null. And let's do the same for next. So I'm just going to duplicate this and change it for next. And 500 is the greatest page we can do. And I'd probably put this in a global variable somewhere because it's like a magic number. But for now, we'll just keep it. And this will be +1. Okay. And back to our index view. Let's go ahead and add that. So right now we can add our links here. Page/previous. That's if it exists. So let's wrap this in a if. So let's just say if previous. Okay. And let's put that in there. And let's do the same for next. Let's move this up. Next. Next. And next. Okay, let's see if I did this correctly. Okay. We are on page 1 by default. And the flex is not, well, it works, but since there's no item there, there's nothing on the left. But let's just see if it works. So it does work. So it goes to page 2. But there is no page 2. So I think I have the URL wrong. It should be actors page 2. So back here should be actors in these ones. So actors page. Okay, let's try this again. Let's go back to this page. Refresh. And next. And there we go. We get the next page of actors. And previous should go back to 1, and 1 should still work. And of course that doesn't work. So I think there should be a leading slash. So let me fix that. Okay. Let's try again. 2. Refresh. Previous goes to 1, and it's the correct URL. Goes to 3. Cool. Okay, so everything's working. And to fix this flex thing, we just have to give it an empty element. So we can just do, I guess we can do it for both here. Actually, it should be in here as an else case. So else, just an empty div is fine. Cool. And let's test the last case. That would be 500. And there should only be previous. Awesome. So let me go back to the main actors page. And this to me is pretty useless. There is 500 pages that we can scroll through or that we can paginate through. And that's too many. So what I want to do is add infinite scroll here. And the user can just keep scrolling until they want to. So I'm going to make use of infinite scroll, this infinite scroll package, which is pretty easy to use. And since we have pagination in place already, it can integrate easily into our application. So let's go ahead and add it. So before I add it, let me make a scripts section in our template. So down here, let me just add yield scripts. And then in our index where we want to use it, we can just add a new section here called scripts. Okay, and let's end that section. And our JavaScript can go in here. So let's add a script. And let's add this import. Okay. And let's initialize it with vanilla JavaScript. So I'm just going to copy this and paste it in here. And let me just reindent this. And the query selector we want to make it work on is our grid here. So let's add that. And the path is the path we want in our pagination. So in our case, it's going to be /actors/page. And here is where the number goes, or the page number, and we have to wrap that in double curlies. But this is JavaScript, so we have to escape it with the @. And we want to append to, if you go up here, this is the thing we want to append to, or the thing that's repeating. So let's add that. And history false, I'm going to remove. And I'll show you what that does. So let's go back here and let's see if this works. That's all the config we need if I did everything correctly. So if I keep scrolling, you'll see that it loads to the next page. And you'll see up here that the URL is changing. That's what history false is. If you don't want this to happen, then you can add this back. But I'm okay with it showing up. And now that we have this, we no longer need the previous and next pagination. So we can get rid of that in our template. I'll just comment it out in case you guys want to use it. So I'll just leave that in and just comment it out. Okay. And if you go into the options in the documentation and you click on status, you'll see how to add a status indicator or a loading spinner as the new entries are loading. So you can see there's a quick one happening. And the option we want to use is this status option, and we'll just give it a class. And here, depending on the class name, you'll see if it's loading or the end of content or an error. So let's add this to our JavaScript. So right here, let's add status. And let's add this section as well. So I'm going to add this right here. And I'm going to make a few changes. So let me just add a margin here. And this is for errors. So let me just put error in here. And for the loading state, instead of just the text loading, I want to use a loading spinner. And if you remember the Livewire video, we added a spinner using a Tailwind plugin. And it's going to paste that in. And we still have this class because it has to know if it's loading. And then I just added the spinner class, which is from the Tailwind plugin that we're using. And I just made it a bit bigger. And I need to add this non-breaking space for it to show up. So let's go ahead and see if this works. So back to our app. Let me just go back to page 1. Actually, I'm going to have to open DevTools and throttle because it might be too quick. So let's say fast 3G. And let's see if we can see that loading indicator here. And there it is. It's not centered, but I thought I made it centered, but you can see it on the left there. Cool. Oh yeah, to make it centered, I have to add flex justify center. This has to be a container of this infinite scroll because this is positioned absolutely. So let's try that again. If I scroll down, there it is in the middle. Awesome. And let me just take care of the other case where it's at the end. So right now we're getting an error. And I guess you can just change this error to end of content. That'll work too. Or if you want to give it the correct way, we have to go back to our controller. So our actors controller, and just put one more line here. And just abort if. And the condition we want to abort on is if the page is greater than 500, because there's only 500 pages. And the status code is 204, which is no content. And I think that should inform the plugin that that's the end of content. So this should now be end of content. So let's try again for 500. There we go, end of content. Awesome. Okay, let's continue. And now we can start working on the single actor page. So let's go into our Sublime and let's go into our routes. And I already added it here. So let's go into our controller and let's start in the show method. And let's return view actors.show. Okay. And let's make that in here. Show.blade.php. And let's grab the one from movies and work with that one. So let's grab this and let's just delete everything we don't need. So I want to keep this. This is the title with the stuff underneath the title. This is the overview, and we can get rid of this. And this is a modal, which you don't need. And for the movie cast, I'm going to keep this. But this is where I'm going to put the credits. So let's type credits here. Say movie credits. Or actually, just say credits, because this is going to include TV and movies. And this is just going to be a list, so we don't need this. And this is just a modal, which we don't need. Okay. And credits. Okay. So this is what we're working with. Let's just replace this with hard-coded stuff. And we'll remove what we don't need or add what we do need. And I don't think I need this. Okay. And let's put some lorem text in here, say 40. And this is the actor name, so say Will Smith. And this should be good. This is the image. And I'm just going to paste in an image here. And this should be all hard-coded now. So let's go back to our index blade and let's add the link there for clicking on an actor. And that's going to be the image here and the link here. So let's do route actors.show, and the parameter is actor ID. So actor ID, okay. And we also have to add this in our movies show. So if we go into a movie, we want the actors to link here too. So let's do that. So that would be in movies show. So if I scroll down here to the cast, right here, we can do it here and here. Oops. And again, let's do route actors.show, and the parameter is cast ID. Okay, see if this works. Okay, now this should link to the actor page. And it does. Cool. So I'm going to base this design on what they have on this page here. So let's go into an actor here. Say this guy. And let me just zoom out a bit. And I am going to put the birthday information and how old this person is right underneath the title. So right here. So let's do that. So back to our other show, the actor show. So I'm going to replace this star SVG with a birthday cake SVG. Okay. And this is going to be their birthday, February 20th, 19, whatever. And I'm going to put their age in here. So that'd be 36 years old, 37 actually, if you want to be correct. And the next thing is their place of birth. So let me just put Toronto, Canada here. And then we don't need this stuff anymore. Okay. Cool. Let's put a margin left on this, or a bigger margin here. Okay. And underneath here is where I want their social links. So if you look here, it's pretty much the same thing. So let's add those. So that would be underneath here. So let's add an unordered list. Let's make it flex items center. Let's give it a margin top. And let's give it an LI. And this will be a link to each of these socials. So let's do one and I'll paste the rest in. So this one will be Facebook. Let's give it a title so the user can hover over it if they want. And here is where the SVG will go. I'm just going to paste that in and let's see how that looks. Okay, so that's good. And I'm just going to paste the rest in. Okay, so I pasted the rest in and we'll add this depending on if they exist or not for this particular actor. And the next thing I want to add is their known for movies. So if you look here again, you'll see a section here with their known for movies or TV shows. So let's add that. So it's going to go underneath their description right here. So let's do H4 class equals font semi-bold. Let's give it a margin top, and this is going to be known for. And here is where our grid will go. So grid calls 1. And let me just add the rest of these. So small and above, grid calls 2. Large, grid calls 5. And gap 8. And you can tweak this as you like. And for each item, I'm just going to give it a margin top. Actually, we don't even need that because there's only, actually we do if it wraps, depending on the size of the device. And to save some time, I'm just going to paste in the image. It's just hard-coded. And as always, there is a transition on it and the title here. So let's see how this looks. There should be 5 columns similar to this. Well, we have to add 5 to have 5 columns. So let's add 4 more, 2, 3, 4, and then we'll loop over this in a second. Actually, 1 more. Okay, cool. And then underneath here is where I want the credits to go, and this corresponds to this stuff here. So I don't really have a design for this, it's just a list. So let me just paste that in quickly so we can start grabbing the info from the API. So it's just an unordered list, and that's basically it. And you'll see the date or the year the movie was released, the name of the movie, and the character that they play. So, oops, wrong one. So there you see it. So yeah, it would be nice to design this a bit better. For example, I like what they do here and make it sort of look like a table. And they separate the years with this horizontal rule, but I didn't go that far in this example here, and it's just a list. Okay, so let's start making this dynamic. So to get single actor information, we just have to go to people/person ID. So let's go ahead and do that. So let's go to our actors controller, and let's grab the information from the API here. So let's copy what we have in the movies controller for show. Okay, so let's grab this info back to our actors, and let's change this to actor, and this is actor/ID, and we don't need all this stuff here. And let's go ahead and make a view model for the actor. So view model equals new actor view model, and let's pass in the actor, and let's pass in the view model here, and let's make that view model as well. So actor singular view model. Okay, let's go to that view model, actor view model. And let's go ahead and add the constructor property. So actor, okay, and this will be public. Let's go ahead and make a method. Actor, nothing, and let's return this actor. Actually, let's collect it because I want to dump everything. And let's collect it. Okay. And let's see if our view still works. View model not found. Let's make sure to import that. Okay. Okay, still works. So let's grab the name. So I think we are on Will Smith right now, so that won't change, but let's go ahead and add it. So let's go to our show and let's look for Will Smith. And this will be actor name. Let's see my dump here. Resource could not be found. They should be people. Okay. Sorry, it's person. Person ID. Okay, so there's the information. And we have a name, so let's start with that. Back to our show. So it should be actor name. Okay. And that's not going to change, but now it's pulling from the API. And now let's grab the birthday and the place of birth, which is within here. So birthday, let's also add the biography and place of birth. Okay, so let's add those. And we'll change this in a sec. Let's just dump it out here. Actor birthday. And down here, let's add the biography. Actor biography. And what was the other one? Place of birth. So let's add that right here. Actor place of birth. Okay, see if this works. Okay, but now we can start transforming our data. So let's start with the birthday. So back to our view model, and we can merge here. So let's do a merge, and let's give it an array right here. Okay, and let's transform our birthday, and this will be carbon parse this actor birthday, and it's formatted like we formatted the other dates. So M D Y, and let's make sure to import carbon. Okay, and that should change it. See if this works. Sorry, that should be a comma. Okay, and that is now in a new format. And let's get the age here, because every time I look for an actor, I want to know their age without doing any math. And carbon actually ships with an age field, and all you have to give it is their birthday. So say age, and let me just grab this. And instead of formatting, we can just do age. And I didn't know that until I did this. It's good to know. And now you'll see, oops, we have to use that. So right here, we can say actor age. And that should show the age of the current actor we're on. There you see Will Smith is 51 years old. Okay, now let's add the profile picture. So back here, let's overwrite the profile path. And that's going to be, so sometimes there is no profile image, so we have to check and do a ternary. So this actor profile path, so if there is one, then let me just grab one from the movies view model or movie view model. So let me just grab this and paste that in. So this is going to be this actor. This is going to be profile path. And the width I want is 300. And the rest is the same. And we don't need this. Okay. And if it doesn't exist, let's just give it a placeholder. So this is my placeholder service that I'm using for the other part. I used it before somewhere. I forgot where I used it, but this is fine for a placeholder. Okay, and now let's use that in our show for the image. So actor profile path right here. Actor profile path. Okay. And let's see if this works. Should be an image of Will Smith now. Sorry, no comma here. Okay. There we go. Cool. So now let's get the social information, and that's not part of this request. So let's go ahead and see where we can get that. If we go to external IDs, you'll see this has information about their social. So the endpoint is /external IDs. So let's grab that. So back to our controller. Let's just duplicate this. And this will be social. And let's just tack on external IDs here. And let's also pass that into our view model, social. And while I'm here, for this stuff, so for the known for and for the credits, we need another endpoint for that too. And that endpoint is either movie credits, TV credits, or combined credits. So I'm going to do combined credits for now, because I want the credit stuff to include TV as well. So let's go ahead and add this endpoint as well. So let's name it credits. And that is /combined credits. Okay. And let's pass that in as well. Okay. And back to our view model. Let's add those two. Okay, so I added those, and now let's make a method for social. Okay, and let's just return, let's collect it here so we can dump it as we've been doing, this social. And let me just call the merge here now. Let's just make it empty for now, and say dump. Okay, and now we should see social as well when we refresh this. And there's social right there. Cool. Okay. So as you can see, Will Smith has, actually this website comes from the first request, and the other two or the other three come from this social endpoint. So let's do the website first. So the website is, what is it? Homepage. So let's add that. So back to our view. So where's our homepage? Here. Right here. So we have to check if it exists, because sometimes it doesn't exist. So let's do if actor homepage. And is it the entire URL? It is. Cool. So let me just copy this, and then we can put it in here, and just indent this. And we can do actor homepage in here. Okay. And let's see if this links correctly. Okay. And it does. And let's do the same for the other two, or the other socials. But now we have to do that in the view model, because it's not a full URL, and I just want to pass it in. So I'm going to do one, and I'll just paste the rest in. So let's do Twitter here. So Twitter. It's going to be, again, let's do a ternary and check if it exists. And it's called Twitter ID. Okay. And if it does exist, then we'll add on the actual Twitter URL, twitter.com/, and we can tack on this social Twitter ID. Okay. But if it's not, then let's just do null. And I'm going to do the same for Instagram and Facebook, and I'm just going to paste it in. Okay, so I pasted that in. Let's work on our views here. It's the same thing as the website. So it's the home page. Let's just do one, and then I'll paste the rest in. Let's just do Twitter here. And it's the same thing, like I said. So let's do this. If it's not actor, now it's social. Twitter. Then we can just output that here, and let's end the if here, and let's see if this works. And I don't think Will Smith has Twitter. He does not, so it does work. And I'm going to add the other two as well. Okay, so I added Instagram and Facebook. Let's see if this works. And now you can see Will Smith's social links here. Cool. Okay, now let's work on known for movies. So this section right here. And I want this to include movies and TV shows, but since we don't have TV shows yet, I'm just going to filter it down to movies. But these credits will have TV shows as well. So back to our view model. Let's go ahead and add a function here for known movies. Known for, say titles, known for titles. Because eventually this is going to include movies and TV shows. So let's just do this for now. So cast titles equals collect, and remember I'm passing the credits in from the endpoint, and just dump this and just return it here. Cast titles. Okay, and see what we get. See if we get an extra endpoint here, and we do. So you see this has information for cast and crew. And for this known movies, I only want information for the cast because this is what contains the movies. And I want to sort this by popularity. As you see here, there's a number for popularity because I want the most popular 5 to show up here. So let's do that. So let's collect this. Actually, I want to get the cast here because that's all we're interested in. Okay, and we can collect this. And I just want movies, like I said, where movie type or media type is movies or movie. Movie, okay. And like I said, I want to sort by the most popular. So sort by descending. And I want to sort by the popularity key. And I only need 5. So let's do take 5. And let's just dump this to see what we're getting. Okay. And let me refresh here. And as you see, there's only 5 here. And these should be the 5 most popular movies because we filtered by movies. So as you can see, Bad Boys for Life is the most popular based on this number here. And the rest should work too. Okay, so let's go ahead and transform what we need. So I need a map here. Let me put this on its own line. So map here, function, movie. And let's add this. Okay. And here is where I want to transform the information. So return, collect, movie, merge, like we've been doing. Here's where we can merge the information for each movie. So we want poster path. And I'm just going to paste this in to save some time. Again, we're checking if it exists. And if it does, it is this image. And it's width 185 because it's pretty small. And if not, just put a placeholder in there. And the other field that we need is the title. And I'm using isSet here because sometimes the title doesn't exist. I think when I was doing the demo project, I was including TV shows and movies. So I needed to use isSet to check if this index existed because for TV shows, movie title does not exist. It's called name in TV shows, but let's just leave it for now. And if there is no title, it's called untitled. But I think this should be always this case because I filtered by movies here. But I'll just leave it to what I have here. Actually, I'm just going to rename this back to movies. It makes more sense to me because right now we're just using movies for now. Maybe I'll rename it after we add TV shows. So cast movies, and this is cast movies as well. Okay. So now we can loop over this known for movies. So let's see if it works first. So I have to add a semicolon here. Okay. And it does work. Cool. So we have our poster path and we have our title here. Okay, so let's go ahead and start looping over this in our view. Let's go back to show and let's go to known for. Okay, and we can delete these other ones. I only need the first one, so let's delete all of these. Okay, and now for each, say known for movies as movie. Let's go ahead and move this up. Okay, and let's replace this with the title. So movie title. Okay. For the image, let's go ahead and replace this with movie poster path. And for the link, so for these two, we just need the ID. So we can do route movies.show, and the parameter is movie ID. Okay, and hopefully I did everything correctly. There we go, cool. That looks like it works, and if I click on one of them, this should go to the movie. And it does, cool. So the last thing to do is this credits here. So let's quickly do that. So back to our view model. So I'm going to copy this because it starts off like this as well. But let's rename it to credits. And we just want the cast. Or if you want, you can add the crew. For example, if Will Smith directed a movie, it would show. I mean, it won't show now because now we're just doing cast. So we're only showing movies and TV shows he acted in. So now we want everything. So we're going to remove this where, and we're going to remove the sort and the take as well, because we want everything. So I'm going to put this on this line here. And actually we do want to sort it, but we want to sort it after everything here. So sort by descending release date. And we're going to transform the release date in a second. So let's go ahead and do that. So let's start with the release date actually. So let's do release date. And I'm going to make a variable here called release date. And we'll do that in a second. And I'm going to start pasting code because this video is getting really long. So for release year, again, I have to check if it's set. And if it is, just format it by the year because I only want to output the release year. For title, again, I'm going to put a variable here called title. And for character, again, I'm going to paste it in, and we just have to check if it's set because sometimes it's not set. And if I don't check it, then it will result in an error. So for release date, again, I'm going to paste in some code. And the reason it's a variable is because there are 3 cases, and I can't just make a ternary here. So I'm going to paste it in. And the 3 cases are if there is a release date, then use that. But for TV shows, it's a first air date and release date doesn't exist. So we're going to use that as a release date. And if there's nothing, then just put an empty string. And the same goes for the title here. So let's paste that in. And it's going to re-indent this. And that should do it if I did everything correctly. Now we just have to use this in the view. So let's just see if this works first, or if it shows up in our dump. Okay, we have syntax error. Okay, there's an extra closing brace here. Don't need. This is the one that closes the class. Okay. Okay, so it does work. Let's see what we get here. So we still get everything because we want to list everything. And this seems like it is working. Cool. And I didn't do the only method like I showed you in the last video, where you just want to output the fields that we're using, but maybe I'll add that to the final code, but I'm not going to add it here because this video is getting long. So now all we have to do is use this information in here. So let's quickly do that. So back to our show down here. So let's get rid of all of this. And let's do a for each. Let's say credits as credit. And let's put this in here. So this will be the release year. Credit release year. So let's do that. Okay, and then the next thing is the title. So let's replace this with credit title. Title, okay. And let's replace this as credit character, if there is one. Credit character. Okay, and back to my view model for a sec. I'm using the release date here. So it gets transformed here, and then I'm sorting by the release date. So let's see if this works. Okay, and it looks like it does. Cool. And let me look for fresh prints here, just to see if it's outputting TV shows as well, and it is. Cool. And there's some issues with sorting here. As you see, some stuff gets sorted down here, but I'm not too concerned about that. This looks pretty good. And if you just click around to different actors, just see if this works correctly. Okay, still works. Awesome. And I've also written tests, which I'll go over now quickly. So only 3 new tests that I've written. And as you see, this is the demo project I have, because when I make videos, I have a demo project and then I do it again while I'm recording. So we have our actors test. And I'll probably rename this to view actors test in the final code, but it's pretty much the same as what I did for testing movies. Again, I have a fake popular actors endpoint, and then I'm just asserting against those fake actors that I have. So if I run this test, it passes, and I didn't get rid of the dump. You can see the dump there. The next test I have is just to test that pagination works. So I have another set of actors, and it's called fake popular actors page 2. See if this works. And it does. Cool. And then the other test I have is for the single actor page. And again, I fake the 3 endpoints that we hit, and then I just assert against that information. And that passes too. And I'll make sure to add this in this code for this project. So there you have it, guys. We've added an actors index page that lists all the popular actors with infinite scroll. And we've also added information for single actors, and it lists all their popular movies and their credits here. So yeah, our app is starting to look like a real application with useful information. Please like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already done so. Thanks for watching, guys. See you in the next one. Okay, thanks. Bye.